Hey everybody, I'm Tarl Yarber with Fixated Real Estate, and I'm here just outside of Seattle, Washington, walking a property that a wholesaler just brought to us. So this is a property walkthrough, and I've never seen this house. I've seen some photos, that's about as far as it's gone, and I wanted to do this video with you guys so that you can see how I actually analyze a property when I first walk through it. We're not going to go as super in-depth on numbers. This entire project, this video is to be able to show you guys what we look for huge red flags, construction issues, floor plan designs, how we actually analyze the walkthrough of a property, photos, everything you can imagine what we look at, so we can put together a nice package on a property so we don't miss anything. So later when we actually go buy a house or buy a project, we're not having these huge red flags pop up, huge change orders. It really is important to do a great thorough walkthrough when you're at the project the first time. Some tips on that. I want to act like this is the only time I'm ever going to come back to this project ever again. So in order to do that, I'm going to take as many photos as possible. You guys all have one of these. If you're watching this, you might be watching it on one of these things. So it has a beautiful thing called a camera. Now, that said, when we take photos, we do it a certain way, and you're going to find this out. Now, for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to actually be taking a ton of photos, but just remember, I would be normally taking the photos the whole freaking time I walk this house, all right? Now, on top of that, you can also, once you get those photos taken, you can do something and put them easily in something like a Dropbox or a Google Drive, date it, put it before photos, label it as a property so you never have to come back to this project again and actually be able to reference it later at your desktop computer. So this house, I can already tell, is a pretty messed up house just from the outside looking here. The roof, it's probably reached the last age of it it's going to be on it. The siding, it looks like cedar siding. The windows look like aluminum, maybe wood. I haven't gotten into that yet, but I'm going to walk out the outside first, so follow me. We'll point out some stuff as we go. I've never seen this house, so we'll see what we find, and then take notes too. I'm going to be taking photos normally. I'll be looking for huge red flags, big issues, floor plan issues, outside exterior repair issues, anything that's going to cost a lot of money, like the roof is obviously one of them. So we're going to check that box off right away. I'm going to try to find if there's any sewer issues. I'm going to try to find if there's pretty much anything, right? And we're going to note it, and we're going to take photos of all of this. So that way we can analyze it back at our desktop. Okay, so let's walk around. Now, first off, as I get closer, I can tell the paint's already worn out, so we're gonna have to deal something with the paint. It's old cedar siding is the option to replace it. I don't think in this neighborhood, because we pulled comps before we walked this property, and I don't think we're gonna need to be able to replace the siding because it's gonna be a huge expense, but I can already tell the windows are old wood windows. So this is a 1920 something house, if I remember correctly. We also know the roof's bad, but it's got new gutters, so that's a bonus, right? And at this point, I'd be taking photos of the entire exterior of the house too. This siding, looking right at it right away, this is obviously very bad. Now, if I'm going to resell this property for top dollar, I can't leave this old worn out cedar shake siding. It's not going to be good. The sun is obviously hitting this area for quite a long time. It's damaged, it's warped it. I'll take a bunch of photos here. I can see these windows are messed up already. And what I'm looking at when I look through this is most people that look at a property, they just glance at this thing and they miss it. Take a moment and pause. I actually scan up and down the whole thing looking for any red flags. When I first started working in this business years ago, I knew nothing about construction and rehab, and that's okay if you don't. I'm going to say it over and over again throughout this whole video. Take photos, good photos, from afar, from up close, right? Because if you don't know what it is, somebody else does, and you can show them those beautiful photos. You don't need to be an expert in all this stuff. You just have to have somebody on your team that is. So remember that, okay? So in this case, we have an AC unit. I don't know if you know this, but in Seattle, Washington area, we don't have a lot of ACs, right? Because it's actually cold all the time up here. Maybe the hottest time of summer is going to be like 80. So we don't have a lot of ACs. That window unit, not needed. We're ripping that out. The window's obviously messed up. So we're going to have to replace a whole bunch of windows. Another reason why to take photos is that if you forget to count the windows, you can go back and count the windows later at your desktop or work with a contractor later to be able to count all the windows and walk through it. This might be the only time we ever get to see this property. If you're buying this property as from a wholesaler like we would be on this one, it's not very likely we can do a full thorough inspection with a 30-day close. We usually are going to have to buy this like right away, right? So this is our only chance. So I'm looking at that. It's got gas at the property. I'm going to try to find if there's any gas appliances in the house that we can use because gas is a big deal here, right? We also can see that the barge boards and also the base and the trim and a lot of the area there is all messed up. Some of the flashing we'd have to take care of because of the roof. The siding's messed up. We're probably going to replace all of that. The fence is gone. Bonus. We have one new window. That saves us a couple $100. Woohoo! Save some money. All right, so now we're in the backyard and looking at the backyard. All right, so once again, the roof, if you can see, they got a nice tarp on it. So obviously that's already repaired. We don't need to replace it anymore. No, so we're gonna have to take care of that. Siding issues in the back, we could tell that as well. So it's looking like a good portion of the siding we're gonna have to replace. So far, maybe 50% of it, just from first glance, because this side's messed up. Some of it might be saved. The thing with cedar shake, when you go to rip it off, sometimes it just breaks and shatters and you have to replace a bunch of it. The hopes are is that we get only maybe have to replace this side so far, maybe a few shingles here, paint it look good. I can see there's a trench over here. So my best guess at first glance, this is the sewer, and they have some new piping that they added. So that looks like a brand new sewer line, which is a good news. For some reason though, they put the clean out below grade. So we might have to raise that up, fill this in. It was probably done a really long time ago because it's already growing in. Going through that same situation, the siding looks pretty good on that siding. You also have a garage, two-car garage. There's no panel on it, or no electrical meter. Looks like it at least to have electrical meter. So overhead mast used to have electrical going to this property. It now does not. So for the garage, so there's no electrical on this property at all, probably, unless I see some. Oop! Now we're looking over here. So this alley goes live. I'm going to take photos of all this stuff, right? Looks like this. There's electrical to the property. Somebody ran an extension outlet from inside the house all the way to here. Now, is that good for resale value? I don't think it is. So we might have to do a new overhead mast going from the house to the garage and put a meter, or have a separate meter from the power company. Both are going to cost a good chunk of change. So either we have electrical coming from the house, or we run a separate meter to the with the actual power company. That's probably going to cost more money than just running electrical from the house. So we'll probably go that route. All this is messed up. Luckily, the siding is pretty cheap. It's T111, which is good. It's locked, right? So nice security feature. So that's a bonus. So we don't have to replace that. Actually, in reality, this is a good bonus, right? Look, that extension cord works. So I was afraid when we first came into this house that the garage was going to be an old garage that got built sometime in the early 1900s. But the fact that it has engineered truss on top means that they built this probably in the 50s, 60s, 70s, something like that. So it's looking like it's in pretty good shape. It's got a real foundation on it. It has a drain, or there used to be a toilet here, who knows, right? And it's not too bad. Garage door needs to be replaced. This all is good. It just needs some touch up on the outside. The roof is just a little messed up from the actual just roof being worn out. Now, once again, I'm going to say this again. Take photos. I'm never going to remember all this stuff off memory. And actually, when we're done with this video, we're going to come back and we're going to take full photos of this. We just didn't think it would be the coolest thing in the world for you guys to see us take lots of photos of a house while you're filming us taking photos, right? So what did we see so far? We walked the entire exterior of the house first. That's what we do. That way, also, when we take these photos and I go back to my desktop, if I took a photo of the front of the house, then I'm inside of the house, then I go to the garage, then I go upstairs, and then I go to the bathroom, and the photos are all over the place, it'll make no sense to me or to anybody else looking at these photos later, right? So remember, have a process. Our entire team, we go on the exterior first, we take photos of everything we could see on the outside, then we go through the front door and we take photos through the front door. Then we go to whatever area room we're in, we're taking photos as we go. So when we go back to our desktop, upload the Dropbox or from your phone, I can view them. If another team member is viewing them, they know where we're walking through the property. If I send those photos to a contractor, they know what they're walking through as well. It's as easy as that. One last tip on photos, and I'm going to stop talking about them. Date your photos. Not each picture. Put it in a folder, date it, then you know what date you took them. When you later go back to your projects after you buy these properties and you take photos again, I can't tell you how many times I've worked with investors and they are trying to show me pictures of their property and they're just going like this forever, right? With us, we can just go straight on here, go to the Dropbox folder, click the date we want to look at, and it's right there. So those are my best tips for you for photos, and I'm going to stop there. Now let's go to the front of the house, and we're going to fast forward so you guys don't have to see me walk all the way through this. Okay. Okay, so we're at the front of the house. We just did the whole exterior. Now, when I go into the property, there's a few things that you need to look for when you're walking these properties. The first thing I'm thinking is, of course, the obvious stuff. Like, is it updated? Is it not? Is it messed up? Does it smell, right? Can you taste money, right? That's a big one. But also, most importantly, floor plan. These older houses, and this is almost a 100-year-old house, they don't always have the most functional floor plans, right? So can we open up walls? Is it going to feel right to a buyer? If I want to get top dollar for this property when we go to resell it, it's great that if it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home and it's fully updated, right? It's not great if it's a not functional 3-bedroom, 2-bath and it's super funky, right? So let's talk about the stats of this house. We were told that it's a 4-bedroom, 1-bath home. And I believe it's like between 1,300 and 1,400 square feet. If I remember correctly, we might get the stats correctly for you later. And so I'm looking, okay, 4-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,400 square foot home, 100-year-old property, right? Can I add a bathroom? Based on the comps in this area, I would love to be able to add a master suite. If I can add a master suite, that'll make it a 4-bedroom, 1.75 bath. Maybe I could take away a bedroom if I needed to be able to get to be a 3-bedroom, 1.75. Because also in this neighborhood, a 4-bedroom, 1-bath is not as valuable as a 3-bedroom, 1.75 bath or 2-bath, right? So a master suite's more important. Can I fit that? If I can't, the numbers might still work. All right, so when the wholesaler brought us the property and stuff, they brought it to us originally for $181. We knew right off the bat that this house, we couldn't buy this for $181. They had a budget of $60,000 attached to it. And they were thinking that they can sell it for $300,000 if we bought that. Based on those numbers, you're looking at 180-ish and 60, you're looking at 240 plus a $300,000 resale after holding costs. We have a Washington, we have 1.78% excise tax that we have to pay as well. You start breaking down all that stuff, it looked like an okay deal, right? Now, after digging into it some more and what we found out about the area and what might happen so far, just walking around the outside of this house, I'm not feeling any hope so far for that $60,000 rehab budget, because from what's on the outside, it's going to tell me it's going to cost me a lot more on the inside, and I haven't been in here yet. The other factor is a 4-bedroom, 1-bath house in this neighborhood. I didn't see any comps that told me that it's going to sell for $300,000 if we fix this thing up. So we're looking at maybe a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 3-bedroom, 1.75 bath if we can hit that, because we need that master suite. Then maybe it might sell for $300,000, and even then our comparables are saying maybe $290,000, $295,000. So can we do it for $60,000? I don't know so far. I don't think we can. And 180 is really high, so maybe I can negotiate back down with the wholesaler. Maybe they can negotiate with the seller and stuff. And I'd prefer right now, I'd feel more comfortable at a less price. But let's find out. If the rehab's 60, maybe we can make it work. I don't think it's going to be though. So like I said, we're going to go see how the floor plan is. So let's see what the first looks like when we walk in. All right. So, pretty standard, nice living room. I'm not too concerned about this. I'm gonna guess there's a kitchen behind here, because almost every house, that's what is here. And if you watch HGTV enough, you know what we would do. We'd open up the kitchen, right? So you walk right in. That sounds amazing. This is a early 1900 house, so there's a very high likely chance that this is a load-bearing wall. Without getting into engineering, we've just done hundreds of houses, probably load-bearing. If you're watching this and you don't know anything about construction, get an architect or a contractor or engineer or somebody on your team that can actually work with you when it comes to these load-bearing situations. Don't do what I've seen homeowners do, where they just say, let's open the wall up, and then the whole thing starts to drop down. We've seen that. That's happened to us. We've seen it on properties we've worked on. So don't do that. Now, let's continue walking through. This is a red flag here. So this is for the furnace. This is intake. So that's being right in the middle of your walkway is probably pretty annoying for most people. So we might have to move that around. Going in through the area. So there's 2 bedrooms. We got 1 bedroom on the right. Seems pretty standard. 1 bedroom on the left. Everything's carpet. Everything's up, not updated at all. This right away is a red flag for me. This is a really narrow bathroom. It's also got a low door, and so this seems small. I don't know what it is, but maybe people in the early 1900s, because we see this all the time with craftsman homes, that I think people are just smaller in the early 1900s than what we are now. A camera guy filming this is like 6'6", and he can't even stand in here. So this is obviously gonna have to get gutted out. It's the only bathroom in the house that we know of. We haven't been upstairs yet. And it's got a toilet's messed up, everything's messed up. This all seems very cramped to me. And we could probably blow this out and just remove the pantry or like the linen closet completely to make it feel a little bit bigger. But even then, this is probably 2 feet apart between the sink and the bathtub, and that's not standard these days. So who knows what we can do with that. We might be able to steal some room from a bedroom or something, but that alone, I'm already thinking we're going above 60 if you add everything else in. The rest of the bedrooms, I'm not too concerned about these. These all look good to me. Normal standard bedrooms. And let's go into the kitchen. Obviously outdated. There's no venting for the stove. There's absolutely nothing here for cabinetry. We got this brand new-ish fridge. Your dishwasher looks like it's gonna work just fine to me, right? Actually, yeah, it's hooked up. It's ready to go. So you can use that sucker anytime. And I'm sure that you guys watching from home, you probably have one just like that, right? So we're gonna have to gut all this. If we open up that wall, it looks like this here. And forgive me, we've just walked these houses so many times. So that's not hollow. There's probably a chimney in here, right? So a lot of old 1900 houses had chimney venting and just sitting right in the middle of the house, right? For either wood burning stoves or other things that they're used. And why is this little round, like this little square here? It's probably a chimney. So there's probably a whole bunch of bricks underneath there, all that kind of stuff. We're gonna go upstairs. Holy crap. Okay, I didn't see that. So this is upstairs. Now, all right, so I'm already so excited about this house and everything about it just because of this. This has probably just killed it for me. So, all right, I'm walking in the house, right? I'm walking in the house. I'm like, oh, I wanna go upstairs. I gotta go through this kitchen and everything. And then I gotta hike up these stairs, right? To go to the other bedrooms. This looks like a ladder to me. So I don't know about this. Yeah, I don't know about this so far. So let's explore that in a second. When we go up there, we're gonna see if we see the chimney, because we're gonna go see in the attic to see if there is one. I bet you there is. If there is, then when we open up this wall here, we're gonna have to remove that as well, which is gonna be another extra demolition cost and so forth. Bonus, we got a brand new washer and dryer. If those come with the property, that might offset a little bit of the money to be able to take care of that, but it's definitely not gonna offset this crap. That's not gonna work very well for floor plan. Wow, all right, so this is the panel. Unless there's another panel somewhere else, it's a square D panel, which is fine, but you can tell this is not enough for a 1,400 square foot home. This is not enough breakers. This is very low voltage. It probably needs to be completely upgraded to a 200 amp panel. And a 200 amp panel wouldn't even fit here. So that means that we're gonna have to move the panel. It wouldn't fit in this area. And either we build this wall out and add a new panel there, or we have to move the panel. And looking at, there was a meter on the back actually right there too, and it didn't have anything on it. So we could probably maybe put the panel on the back as well. You got obviously there might have been some water damage there at one point. All right, I'm gonna say it one more time, guys. I'm gonna say it one more time. Take photos, right? So when we just walked through that front door, photos. We walked through the kitchen, photos. Walked through the bedrooms, photos everywhere, right? Everywhere you go. This, photos. Now, how do I make this actually work on photos, right? You just take photos here, you take photos from the outside, take photos as much as you can. If you want to go get brownie points, you even draw a little floor plan, right? Our camera guy, Nate's also our acquisitions manager. One day you'll meet him. He loves Starbucks. So what does he do? He takes Starbucks napkins and he actually draws draws on the back of a napkin whenever he walks the property, takes a photo of that and puts it into the Dropbox folder for us. So while I'm sitting at the comfort of my own home, I can actually view what he's actually walking through. And you guys can't smell that, but we can. It smells like cat urine everywhere as well too. So I forgot to mention that when we walked in. I'm a mouth breather, so I didn't even notice it. But now, yep, it smells like money. So let's go upstairs. Real quick thing. How do you get rid of cat urine? One, do you get rid of the cats, right? So they don't come back. And then two is kills oil-based paint. We would actually, because it's actually pretty fragrant in here, we'd have to remove everything out of here, right? Get rid of all the vinyl, get rid of all the carpet, get rid of everything, demo out what we need to demo, and then you take Kills oil-based primer, and you just coat the heck out of this house. And you probably do 2 coats of it. That should seal everything up. And once it's sealed up, then you could come back. Now, I bring that up to you guys, that's another cost. So we have to figure that out. All right, let me hike up this thing. All right, so this, right away, you got the tread issues. So if I put a piece of wood here to block this so there's no toe kick, looks like I got about 5 inches of tread. That's not big enough, right? I can't remember what code is, but it's somewhere between 8 and 10 inches if I remember correctly. So that's very, very bad. So we'd have to leave it until I could have this, and that's not the code. But it is a 1900s house. Who knows? So far, not excited. And there's probably no cheap way to fix these stairs because you'd have to re-engineer them, move them around, and bring them fully up to 2019 code. And that seems like a lot of work, right? Sorry. Did I cuss? Yeah. All right. So this is an issue. So, hey, let me get that couch down. Right? Yeah, that's not gonna work out too well. All right. So red flags everywhere. All right. So I only saw 2 bedrooms downstairs, and right now I'm going to assume that they're going to count this as a bedroom. So it has a closet here. Hey, look. There's that chimney I was talking about. What do you know? It's like I've done this before. All right, so this has to go. And this is cinder block, so this looks like they built this thing not that long ago, which is crazy. Which worries me because I didn't see a furnace. I saw the furnace intake. I'm going to guess that the furnace is in the crawl space here. And if the furnace is in the crawl space, it has to vent out. There's gas. So I'm putting this all together, right? There's gas on the property, furnace in the crawl space, probably a gas furnace. It needs to vent out. I'm willing to bet you it's venting out through this, which means that if we remove this, we got to find another way for the gas furnace to vent out, right? And there's ways to do that, 95% efficiency furnaces and stuff, but that's another few $1,000s. So it's not looking like it's a $60,000 remodel on our end so far. Now, if they're counting this as a bedroom, then they're probably also counting that as the 4th bedroom. Now, for viewers, that's low. If they're counting this as a 4th bedroom, one, there's no closet. I don't see a closet in here at all because you need, technically you need 3 things for a bedroom. You need access, a legal bedroom, access, egress. That means you can jump out that window if the house is burning down. And then the 3rd thing is a closet. Oh, and a 4th thing, you need heat, right? So this has heat. It has egress. You can dive out that, save your life, right, if the house is burning. And it's got a really low entrance to the bedroom, but it doesn't have a closet. The other thing is it doesn't have proper access because it looks like you have to go through this bedroom to get to this bedroom. Not a real 4-bedroom house, right? That's an issue for us. So I'm already looking at $60,000 remodel so far, not looking too good. This is not a true 4-bedroom house. This is a 3-bedroom house with an extra like den area that can't be counted as a legal bedroom. We got issues with the stairs, right? Coming up here. And we got issues with the actual stairs themselves, right? Maybe if I wanted to go crazy and spend some real money, right, I would make this whole upstairs a master suite and just call it a 3-bedroom, this being a 3rd bedroom with with adding a bathroom up here and making a master suite. That would be pretty good. That would actually solve our 3-bedroom 1.75 bath, right? It wouldn't solve the stair issue. And that really is upsetting me right now. You can't tell by my voice, but it's upsetting me quite a bit because this house, this actually could be a good house, right? But this is not an easy fix. In this city, if we touch these, if they're legally, you can legally leave them here. But if we touch them, then we have to bring it completely up to 2019 standard code, right? Which means we need, this is not going to fly. We need 7.5 feet, 7 foot of ceiling height for your head, right? That's going to mean that we have to build a dormer here or something like that. Or we have to move the stairs completely, which you can't, there's no place to do that downstairs because you got bedrooms on these sides here, right? And there's no place to do that. So we'd have to build a dormer. Building a dormer costs lots of permits and lots of construction. So it's going to be another issue there. So also I can already tell too, here's another factor with electrical. 2-prong outlets. So without even checking anything else out on that, that means it's not grounded. And you already saw the really old panel that was downstairs. And so I know that not grounded outlets, going to cost me some electrical there. House hasn't been updated forever. Probably it's got galvanized plumbing, if I had to guess that, right? There's just too many factors in this. You can tell that the sheetrock's not done well. This might even be like almost like a cork board. Sometimes that happens in these. And it's one thing after another. So I hope you guys learned a few things from this video. I'm already saying we're not going to buy this house without even like saying anything. Maybe we'll go back to the wholesaler and say, hey bro, you did the numbers wrong, right? If off the top of my head, without doing a full analysis, I'm spending like 100 grand on this house if I want to make this a true legal 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. And with the dormer and everything, I'm spending some money. I'm gonna have to replace all the electrical, or probably replace all the plumbing. That bathroom downstairs is really dinky and small. That's not gonna work out. The kitchen is completely messed up. We have to remove the chimney. We have to take care of these stairs, the dormer, add a bathroom up here. It just keeps adding up. The siding, the roof, yada, 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 everything, right? The electrical to the garage. This can be a very expensive house. The wood framed windows. You guys get the point, right? So keep that in mind. Now, what can you do going forward? 1, pictures. 2, get somebody on your team that understands the construction of the property. 3, take your time when you walk a property. And if you don't understand what something is, take photos of it, right? Act like you're never going to walk this house ever again. So how thorough can you be the first time you go through it? If you're walking this property with a seller, sometimes it can be distracting having conversations with them and you might miss a bunch of stuff. Take the time. If you do the process the same way every single time, you're never going to miss something. And last but not least, maybe you have a sheet, maybe you have a way to be able to track it. Maybe you make a spreadsheet that says room by room that you can follow to be able to analyze the rehab and get the numbers. And I want to put a plug for my boy Jay Scott, one of my favorite guys out there, one of my best friends. He wrote a book that changed my life years ago called The Book on How to Estimate Rehab. Right? So, or is it the book on estimated rehab? I know BiggerPockets just came out with another edition of it. Jay Scott, you can get it on at BiggerPockets.com. Plug for those guys. Until then, keep following us on these videos. And I'm Tarl with Fixated Real Estate, and I'll see you guys soon.